Due to the huge demand of you guys, today I am going to start a new course on a special theory of relativity. Actually, this special theory of relativity was proposed by Albert Einstein in 1905. You know, the special relativity is one of the most important discoveries of physics and mathematics. After its advent, the 300-year-old Newtonian concept of space and time was get modified. In fact, Newtonian mechanics is based on the fact that space and time are absolute. You know, any event in this nature is completely specified by space and time. When you say space, what does it mean? Space means the distance between 2 points, and the postulate of Newtonian mechanics is that the distance between 2 points and time of an event is actually absolute, not relative. When you say these are absolute, not relative, what does it mean? It means the space and time measured by any observer from any reference frame in any state of motion will be same. So space and time are absolute. This is actually the assumption on which the Newtonian mechanics was framed. In fact, the truth of the consequences of Newtonian mechanics is based on the approximation that the velocities of the particles or mechanical waves with respect to any observer is always much less than a speed of light in free space, and you know the speed of light in free space is denoted by the symbol c, and its value is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So in the microscopic world, when you say macroscopic world, the world in which you live, in this macroscopic world of our ordinary experiences, it is found like this. That is, in ordinary macroscopic world, we see that the speed of any material particle or any mechanical wave is v, and this v is much smaller than c. I will give some example to clarify the concept that the speed of any material particle or mechanical wave in this macroscopic world is much smaller than c. To clarify this concept, let us take some of the examples. You know, if we consider that a speed of an artificial satellite circling in the earth is v equal to 18,000 per mile per hour, and so if we consider that the speed of artificial satellite is 18,000 mile per hour, and then you will calculate the ratio of v and c, then you will get v over c equal to 0.000027. You can see this value of v over c is much smaller, and so you can say that the speed of the artificial satellite circling the earth is much smaller than a speed of light in free space. Similarly, you can take another example of mechanical wave. You know, sound wave is a mechanical wave, and you have definitely studied that the speed of sound wave in air at ntp, as the speed of sound wave depends on temperature, so we consider here the speed of sound wave at ntp, and in air it is found to be almost 332 meter per second. You can see the textbook that speed of sound in air at ntp is given either 330 meter per second, 332, 335, 340, even 350 meter per second. If any of these values you take and found the ratio of v over c, you will see that if we consider that v is 332 meter per second, which is speed of sound wave in air at NTP, then the ratio V over C is almost equal to 0.000010, and you can see this number is actually much smaller than 1. So these examples actually clarify that the speed of any material particle or mechanical wave in this macroscopic world is much smaller than the speed of light in free space. In fact, it is this ever-present but limited macroscopic environment that our ideas about space and time are first formulated, and in which Newton developed his system of mechanics. So you can see that Newtonian mechanics works well actually when we talk about the smaller speed. And when you say smaller speed, what does it mean? It means the speed which is much smaller than a speed of light. So in nutshell, you can say that Newtonian mechanics works well when V is much smaller than C. Here V is speed of any material particle or any mechanical wave. Or in other words, you can say that V over C is much smaller than 1. Actually, this limiting condition, when you say V over C is much smaller than 1, under this limiting condition, Newtonian mechanics works well. And this limiting condition is known as classical limit. This is a very important point you will find when we will actually discuss the special relativity of Einstein, and we will get different results for different quantities. Then whenever you will apply this limiting condition, that is V over C is much smaller than 1 on those results, you will see that all relativistic results obtained in special relativity by Einstein will change into the corresponding classical result or Newtonian result after applying this limiting condition. And so this limiting condition V over C much smaller than 1 is known as classical limit. It means under this limiting condition, Newtonian mechanics works well, it is valid, it holds. But now a question arises that what will happen when this limiting condition does not hold? That is, when V over C is not much smaller than 1, but V is comparable to C. That is, speed of a material particle or mechanical wave is if comparable to a speed of light, or in other words, you can say that when V tends to C or V over C tends to 1, then what will happen? In fact, in this condition, when you say that V tends towards C or V over C is tending towards 1 or V is comparable to 1, in fact, in this limiting condition, Newtonian mechanics fails badly. It does not work. The result obtained from Newtonian mechanics in this condition, that when V tends to C or V over C tends to 1, actually does not agree with the experimental value. In fact, this condition that V approaches C or V over C tends to 1 exists in microscopic world. When we talk about the elementary particle, then it is possible that V over C tends to 1. So you can see some example of the microscopic world in case of elementary particle, that it is possible when V over C is tending towards 1 or V is approaching towards C. Actually, we will clarify this idea by some important examples that Newtonian mechanics will fail when V approaches C. As I have told you, such a speed exists not in macroscopic world. In macroscopic world, a speed of a train, a speed of a man or woman, a speed of any celestial body, all are actually much smaller than a speed of light c. But in microscopic world, the speed of an elementary particle may approach the speed of c. You can see that in microscopic world it is readily possible to find particles whose speed are quite close to that of c. So now I will clarify this idea that in microscopic world it is possible that the speed of a particle is approaching the speed of c. We will give you some important example. In the first example, let us consider an electron, and this electron is, let us consider, accelerated by an accelerating potential which is V equal to 10 million volt. And if we consider that the accelerating potential of electron is 10 million volt, actually then it is found that the speed of the electron is V equal to 0.9988 c. It means it is 99.88% of speed of light c. So you can see this value is almost equal to a speed of light c, although it is smaller than c, but not very smaller. It is comparable to c. And this example actually says that the speed of electron may approach the speed of light c when we will accelerate the electron by a high potential of the order of 10 million volt. In fact, in Newtonian mechanics, there is no upper limit of speed of a particle, and so we simply take that in Newtonian mechanics, the speed of a particle may be even infinity. So we say that the V maximum which is obtained or acquired by a particle in Newtonian mechanics is simply infinity. And when you say infinity, it is undefined. I hope you have definitely studied the situations in classical mechanics when we take the speed of a particle up to infinity, like in kinetic theory of gases. When you find the average speed, the most probable speed, the RMS speed, then you talk about that the limit of integration for the speed of gas molecule ranges from 0 to infinity. What does it mean? It means we are taking the speed of a molecule of a gas may be infinity. But remember, this is Newtonian mechanics in which we does not impose any upper limit on speed. So in fact, you can say that if a speed of light will be infinity, not equal to c, then Newtonian mechanics will not fail at any speed. But it is not the real fact. Speed of light is limited. It is equal to c, and so Newtonian mechanics actually fails when V tends towards c. So now we will see that how you can say that that Newtonian mechanics fails when V approaches c. For this we will take an important example which just I have mentioned here, and I have written this example in question form. Let us see here that experimentally it is found that the speed of an electron moving with kinetic energy K equal to 10 million electron volt is 0.998 c. In fact, I have mentioned it here. When you say that an electron is accelerated by an accelerating potential of 10 million volt, it means you are saying that its kinetic energy is 10 million electron volt. If accelerating potential will be 10 million volt, energy will be 10 million electron volt. And in this condition, experiment says that its speed is 0.988 c. Now, when its energy is increased, let us say 4 times, the energy of this electron, which was actually 10 million electron volt, now becomes 40 million electron volt. Then From experiment, it is found that its speed is 0.9999 c, that is 0.49 c. So we have to calculate the speed of this electron on the basis of Newtonian mechanics. Actually, this value of speed of electron when its kinetic energy is 40 million electron volt, which is 0.9999 c, is the experimental value. Now you will see that the Newtonian mechanics actually does not agree with this experimental value, but it gives the value of speed of electron moving with this kinetic energy 40 million electron volt, some of different value. So let us calculate the speed of the electron moving with kinetic energy 40 electron volt. You can solve this problem on the basis of Newtonian mechanics, and you know that energy of this electron is 10 million electron volt when originally. So energy of the electron, energy means kinetic energy, this is K, and this is in fact 10 million electron volt. Now, as the problem says that we increases the speed of the electron, and so that its kinetic energy increases 4 times. So what is its new kinetic energy? It will be simply 40 million electron volt. So new kinetic energy of the electron, if we denote it by the symbol K prime, then it is given that this is 40 million electron volt. Now, on the basis of Newtonian mechanics, we will calculate the speed of this electron when it was actually when its kinetic energy is actually 40 million electron volt. You know, in Newtonian mechanics, the kinetic energy is measured by the formula half mv square. So you can say, now according to Newtonian mechanics, according to Newtonian mechanics, or the formula of Newtonian mechanics, that K is equal to what? This is half mv square, and this half mv square is given actually 10 million electron volt. In fact, here m is what? This is mass of the electron, and v is speed of the electron. Speed of the electron. And now when its kinetic energy becomes 40 electron volt, in Newtonian mechanics, mass is treated as an absolute quantity. With increase in speed, mass does not increase. This is Newtonian concept. In fact, when we will study the special relativity, you will see that with increase in speed, mass will also increase. But till now, we are talking about Newtonian mechanics, so we will take the mass same even when the speed does not remain v, but it increases. So again, you can say when its kinetic energy is 40 million electron volt, then it is K prime equal to half mv prime square. And according to the problem, this is 40 million electron volt. You can see that I have taken mass same even when speed has been increased. Mass of the electron does not increases in accordance with the Newtonian mechanics. So now let us find what will be the value of this V dashed in according to the Newtonian mechanics. So you can see from these two equations 1 and 2 that K prime over K, this will be, you can see, half mv prime square over half mv square, and this is simply v prime over v whole square. But as you know that this K prime is 40 million electron volt and K is 10 million electron volt. So this ratio K prime by K will be simply equal to 4. So you can write that this V prime over V whole square, this is simply equal to 4. And if it is 4, what will be V prime over V? You can see this will be 2. And so the new speed of the electron V prime will be twice of its original speed. And as I have told you in the earlier example, that when the electron will travel with a kinetic energy of 10 million electron volt, then its speed is 0.9988 c. So you can see that this speed V prime will be 2 into 0.9988 c. And what will be this value? You can see that this V prime is equal to 1.9976 c. And you can observe that this new speed is actually greater than c. But our experiment says that speed of any material particle can never be greater than c. In fact, as I have mentioned in this problem, that experimentally it is found that the speed of an electron moving with this kinetic energy of 40 million electron volt is not this much, that is 1.9976 c, but it is found to be 0.9999 c. So experimental value of V prime is equal to 0.9999 c. So you can see this is the experimental value, and this experimental value is correct. When the theory does not agree with experiment, we does not say that theory is correct. We say that experiment is correct and there is a fault in the theory. And this value which is defined here, this is 1.9976 c. This is the theoretical value obtained on the basis of Newtonian mechanics. And this value of 0.999 c is the value obtained from the experiment. So you can see that at higher speed, the Newtonian mechanics is not in agreement with the experimental result. So at higher speed, higher speed, and when you say higher speed, what does it mean? That is when V is tending towards c, then Newtonian mechanics does not agree with experiments. With experiments. This is the reason we say that at higher speed, that is the speed which approaches or which is comparable to a speed of light c in free space, in fact Newtonian mechanics fails. Actually, when we will study the special relativity, we will see that this calculation of a speed based on Newtonian mechanics is not correct. We will have to take the formula for mass variation, and when we will take the formula for mass variation, that is when the kinetic energy of electron becomes 40 million electron volt, its mass simultaneously changes. And when we will take into account that mass variation, then we will get this result of a speed which is experimental value, that is 0.999 c. So in fact, a special relativity is in agreement with the experimental result, but at higher speed, Newtonian mechanics is not in agreement with the experimental result. So you can say that this Newtonian mechanics fails badly at higher speed, and this is the reason that in a special relativity, Einstein formulated the mechanics in such a way that it can hold for any speed in macroscopic world and in microscopic world. So in fact, the purpose of Einstein was not to modify Newtonian mechanics. Actually, his purpose was to get a deep insight into the theory of electromagnetism. Actually, a special relativity was developed in 1905 by Albert Einstein, and it was motivated by a desire to get a deeper insight into the nature of electromagnetism. But when this theory was invented, it is seen that Newtonian mechanics also get modified. So Einstein in his theory extended and generalized Newtonian mechanics as well. Actually, Einstein correctly predicted the results of mechanical experiments over the complete range of a speed which varies from 0 to c. So the Einstein's idea is valid when v is actually equal to 0 and v is, or you can say v over c tends to 1. In fact, in this entire range, the theory developed by Einstein in a special relativity is valid. In fact, Newtonian mechanics was revealed to be an important special case or a special case of this more general theory. As I have told you, whenever you will impose the limiting condition, that is v over c is much smaller than c on any relativistic result, you will find that that relativistic result is transformed into its equivalent Newtonian result or classical result. And so you can say that Newtonian mechanics is in fact a special case of the special relativity or a more general theory. In fact, Einstein's theory gives completely a new view of space and time. In fact, Einstein's theory implies that the space and time are not absolute. As you know that Newtonian mechanics is based on the postulate that space and time are absolute, but in accordance with Einstein's special relativity, these space and time are not absolute, but they are relative in different frame, and the observers of the different frame found the value of space and time different, not same as it was treated in the classical mechanics or Newtonian mechanics. In fact, our low speed Newtonian environment is so much a part of our daily life that almost everyone has some conceptual difficulty in understanding Einstein's idea of space and time. And so when this was actually studied, then nobody has a faith in the Einstein's idea, because the idea of Newton was in the mind of the people from last 300 years. So a concept which is in the mind in last 3 years, and we also find that such an idea is valid in our environment, in our macroscopic world, because we people live in a macroscopic world, and we see that for the objects in the macroscopic world, actually the Newtonian mechanics works well. So nobody has faith initially in this special relativity, and this was a very difficult situation for anybody to understand the idea developed by Einstein. So Einstein may have put his finger on the difficulty, and so Einstein said that common sense is that the layer of prejudices laid down in the mind prior to the age of 18. So, indeed, it has been said that every great theory begins as a heresy and ends as a prejudice. This idea of motion of Galileo and Newton may very well, when passed through such a history already. More than a half century of experimentation and application has removed a special theory of relativity from the heresy stage and put it on a sound conceptual and practical basis. Furthermore, we shall show that a careful analysis of the basic assumption of Einstein and of Newton makes it clear that the assumptions of Einstein are really more and more, or you can say much more reasonable than those of Newton. So the idea of Einstein is more vivid, or as I have told you, the Newtonian mechanics is simply a special case of Einstein's mechanics, that is relativistic mechanics, and so we can get all the results of Newtonian mechanics from the relativistic result, simply imposing the limiting condition which is called classical limit, that is V over C is much smaller than 1. Whenever we will apply or we will impose such a condition on relativistic formulas and relativistic results, we will get the corresponding Newtonian formula. So you can say that this special relativity is much more vivid than the Newtonian mechanics, and simultaneously you will feel that it is very interesting. You will feel joy whenever we will follow this course on special relativity. So hope you guys will enjoy with me in the quest of this special relativity. So this is a brief introduction for the special relativity. After this brief introduction, in next lecture we will enjoy the concept of a special relativity. But first of all, we will see that why Einstein needed to get to provide such an idea of a space and time, and for that we will first of all study the classical relativity, and after knowing the drawbacks of classical relativity, we will actually study the special relativity. So in next lecture we will start with the principle of